About that.
Thank you to the young gentleman in the balcony who really did the work.
Good evening, everyone. 6:15. I call Zoning Board of Adjustments meeting to order February 9th, 2026 at 6:15 p.m. And somebody's trying to talk to me and I don't want to talk. Roll call. Suzanne Ryan, Chair. Audrey Klein, Vice Chair.
Hang up.
How do you shut her off? That's her. Jody Persons, voting member. Kate McMahon is excused. Chuck Sumner, clerk, voting member. So voting members are myself, Audrey, Chuck, Jody, and Sabette. I'm appointing Sabette as in place of Kate. Kate's been excused, so Sabette will be a full voting member, and we will be voting roll call vote on everything tonight, so we catch her vote. Also present, Shauna Sanders, Circuit Rider Planner, and Suzanne Murtaugh, the recording secretary. And Sabette is on GoToMeeting Zoom. So Sabette is out of state and unable to attend tonight's meeting in person and is participating via Zoom. Under the Right to Know law, a member of the public body may participate in a meeting remotely only when such attendance is not reasonably practical. We have a quorum of the board with Sabette being a voting member present via Zoom. So I would make a motion. Oh, Sabette, are you in the room alone?
Yes.
Okay. And you are out of state?
Yes.
Okay. So physically you're unable to attend. So I would make a motion that Sabette be allowed to participate in the meeting remotely, as it is not reasonably practical for her to be in a physical attendance this evening. Roll call vote. Audrey?
Yes.
Yes.
Jody? Suzanne, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So we're all set with that. Put that aside. Tonight I'm going to have to change the order of the business. We've had two continuances, yeah. So at the request of the applicant and the abutters, everybody's in agreement, we will be continuing.
No, actually, I have something to say with that.
What?
I have something to say about the continuance.
Well, I'm going to go one at a time.
Oh, okay.
The first one that I would ask to be voted to continue is the appeal of the Code Enforcement Office failure to enforce the zoning code. And I got a request from the attorney, the applicant, the abutters attorney, to continue because, well, no, who did I get the request from to continue?
Yep, so this is new application for 11 Poplar.
No, I'm doing Hope,
Okay, so 56.
Elm. Code enforces it. Elm.
We're not continuing that one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Okay.
The agenda works the way it is. So start right here. This one here.
Okay.
You were asked by the abutters.
Okay.
To
Yeah.
continue.
All right. So we were asked by the abutters attorney to continue the Warren Jennifer Wilson, 56 Hopewell.
And Ms. Chair, if I may, we just received an email at 5:30 tonight from the applicant's attorney as well. You can inform the board if you wish that we are in agreement to continue the hearing 56 Hopewell Road to the next scheduled meeting due to the third-party contractor not having completed the work requested by the board.
So that All parties are in agreement about that continuance, and we would continue that to, I believe it's March 2nd.
Second, correct.
So I would like to make a motion that we pick an earlier date, like 2 weeks from now, and not till the next scheduled meeting. And we talk about scheduling it within a couple of weeks.
Anybody want to second that?
Audrey, why?
Because the March meeting will be the last time I'm sitting on this board, and I would like to be involved in the cases I've been involved in, hopefully wrap them up before I get off the board. And
I don't think the March vote is the election vote, and you still stay in office until someone takes your place, so that you're in office till that vote is final.
the vote's in March.
So the March 2nd is pre.
I know,
the
but
vote.
that's the last one, and so I'm asking, because that's the last one, I'd rather do some before the very last minute, like in between, so that there's yet another meeting afterwards, since we have, 3 continuances at least that I've been involved in. So what I'm asking for is if the board is able to pick a date before that March meeting, that we could meet again and pick up some of these cases. And it's up to you guys vote. That's just what my request is.
I'm good with that. I second.
So is that a second, Sabette?
Yes, it is.
Okay, roll call vote.
Well, wait a minute. So-
Should we figure out whether there's a day?
Discussion. So, yeah, we've already tried to set up a second meeting, in the middle of the month somewhere, and it's been very difficult, so I'm not sure we can do it now, because
You're right.
availability of a meeting room
Availability of the room,
is
the
tricky.
Cable up there.
I think we
So we
had
can-
talked about doing it on a Monday,
we-
because Thursday the cable wasn't available. So next Monday is President's Day. We're not open. But the 23rd is a Monday. I know Kate has a hard time getting here Mondays, but Sabette, would you possibly be available on the 23rd?
I could still do it, yeah.
The only question is whether the room's available. So I would make a motion that if the room's available and the tech's available, that we do it on the 23rd. We do continuance.
No, we
the
have, if we
23rd.
make a continuance, we got to do date, time, and place certain.
Yes.
We can't just say if something is available. So I'm not in favor of the motion. It's not personal.
I didn't take it as personal. So,
You'd still be
So-
able to sit on the 2nd.
I do understand that.
She's concerned that it would be continued from the 2nd, and after that, she would no longer
Well,
be a member.
let's hope that it isn't. How many times are we going to keep continuing things?
I don't mind doing that, and actually, I'm looking at a copy of an email from Leanne saying that the 2nd and 3rd Mondays are possible.
Aren't. Right, but
Are
that would be
possible.
yeah, I know the Thursdays aren't because of the IT, so that's why I'm talking about Monday.
Right,
So
this-
Chuck is saying Monday is. Chuck is saying Monday the
The
23rd.
2nd and 3rd Mondays of the month are available.
Yes.
according
So Chuck,
to-
are you saying you would
This
be
is the
okay
second
with-
Monday, and next Monday is President's Day.
Oh, I got it. So the fourth Monday is not available.
That is
Correct.
true, yes.
The fourth Monday
Sorry.
is available. It's the 2nd, 9th, 16th, and 23rd. So the 23rd is the only next available Monday.
So it's not clear to me if that Monday is available or not.
But we can't make a motion if. We have to do date, time, and place certain, so that the applicant, the abutters, and the public know when they could come to listen to a continued meeting.
And I don't think we can pick a date right now.
Nope,
That's-
so I'm not in favor of the motion. I'll call a motion, we're going to do a roll call vote. Those in favor of continuing it to the third Monday of the month, or whatever it was.
It's Monday, the 23rd.
I don't know
That's the fourth Monday of the month, and we don't know if it's available.
Okay, so I make a motion that we not,
You can't, there's a motion on the floor.
oh, okay. All those in favor of Audrey's motion, whatever it was.
Roll call.
I motioned that we do the continued meeting on Monday, the 23rd of February. That was my motion.
I
And then
second.
as a roll call, I'll say I do want to do that.
I'm gonna be out of town, so
Okay,
I'm gonna stay out of the vote. I mean, it's,
Well, then you vote no.
no,
You can't
I'll vote
come.
No, then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out of
Ryan,
town.
no.
I have to say no, because it's not clear to me that the meeting room is available that night.
I would say yes to try.
Okay, so we get 2 yeses and 3 noes, the motion fails. So, let's go back to the first item on the agenda, which was the Wilson 56 Hopewell.
Minutes.
Well, no, so
Well, I don't care.
We
We're gonna
have
do
to-
minutes. We gotta get this done.
so we're going to continue it to March, we're going to make a motion to continue, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I make a motion that we continue the special exception from Wilson on 56 Hopewell to March 2nd, 2026, here in the Town Hall at 6 o'clock.
Second?
Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Ryan, yes?
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes.
Hello?
Yes, so
Yes.
that-
Sorry, Sabette, and I've got my back to you, so I do forget about you. Maybe I can go sideways. Okay, so the motion passes 4-1. Okay, so then we had a variance and special exception for First Colony, but we're going to skip over that. I'm not going to hear that, I'm going to do the continuances.
Yep, yep. That's, yep.
So then the other one that was gonna, the other one is 11 Poplar for a
No, I'm good.
Alan and Felicity Trust, Murdoch and Michael K. Orland, Poplar Island. That was for a special exception. This is a little bit unusual, but they've asked for a new hearing. And they've also asked to be continued because we don't have a full board.
But we do.
We do
Well,
have,
we have a full board that the person that was
They were
involved in
concerned.
this, they would like to see them on the board on this hearing. And so therefore, they've agreed to a continuance. So I make a motion to continue the Poplar rehearing, tax map 193001, 11 Poplar Island, to March 2nd,
Second?
6 o'clock here in the town hall.
no.
Audrey, no.
Yes.
Jody?
Jody,
Yes. Ryan, yes.
Chuck Sumner, yes.
Yes, okay.
And Sabette?
Sabette, thank you, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm not used to having you up there.
No, because I'm confused. If
We-
their issue is that we don't have a full board, we do have a
We
full
need to
board.
put you up on the wall out front. Then we had,
Okay, so that passes,
question.
oh.
so that passes 2-3. Sabette, do you want the question answered before you vote?
I'm just making a statement. Their issue was that we didn't have a full board, correct?
So I contacted them this afternoon, and I let them know the situation, that there was a possibility that we were going to be trying to get you in, but there was a possibility they might have a short board, and rather than pay for everyone to be here and have that risk, they asked to do a continuance instead.
Okay, so this was something that you worked through with them? So in
Correct.
that- Okay, then I'm okay with it.
Yep.
I would
All
support you.
set?
So did you want to take your vote
Yes.
now? So
Yes.
yes, okay.
Okay, the other item on the agenda that I'd like to take care of, so that we'll have a dedicated time to the other two applications, is there was a request for a rehearing, and it was an appeal of the code enforcement officer, and it was filed by Feder Family Revocable Trust, 12 Elm Street, and that was relevant to a zoning complaint. And on 12/1/25, on,
Ms. Chair, I just noticed that the attorney for that case just left.
no, her, oh, I think that's her thing there. That's her stuff.
Okay,
Well, if
She's
she
on
left,
both
that's
cases.
not my problem.
okay, yep,
Okay.
okay.
I thought she left.
Well, so on 12/1/25, the Fedders filed with us an appeal of the code enforcement's failure to enforce. The board at that time on 12/1/25 voted that we did not have jurisdiction. Currently, they're asking for us to reconsider. And I would make a motion that the board did not make an error, technical error, or a legal error, and therefore we do not rehear and we do not honor their request.
Second.
I want to add also, there's no new information submitted. So
Right.
those three prongs are met.
Correct.
Okay, so roll call vote. Audrey?
I vote yes to not rehear it.
Yes.
Yes.
Jody, yes, not to rehear. Ryan, yes, not to rehear.
Chuck, yes, not to rehear.
Because we did not
Sabat.
make a legal or technical error.
And so that your
Yes.
vote? Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that brings us to, we motion to not rehear. Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so now, just to get them out of the way, because I tend to forget, the meeting minutes of January 5th, 2026, 2026, yes. I read through them, I thought they were excellent. I have no problem, I didn't see any typos or any errors. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as printed?
I found a couple of errors.
Okay, if the typos or spelling, I'm not interested.
Well, they got Shauna's name wrong.
Oh,
Shauna, on line 235, her name is Shauna Champray.
Okay.
That is incorrect. There's a few other grammatical corrections, but I guess they're not important enough to enter into the record.
make a motion, amend my motion to say accept the minutes of January 5th, 2026 as amended.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Audrey, yes.
Jody?
Jody, yes.
Ryan, yes.
Chuck, yes.
Sabat?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, that takes care of that. Let me see. Then we have, okay. So I took care of the Sabet. Okay. A little overview of tonight's meeting. We've had to adjust the agenda due to continuances. Public testimony. Public testimony is allowed. However, I will ask the applicant to present first, then the abutters, then the board will ask questions after the public testimony. Also, after the board votes to close the public hearing and go into deliberations, the public comment period is closed unless reopened by a vote of the board, which is an exception. Okay, so we will
Could
now
I-
take the first case.
Could I make a suggestion?
Pardon?
Could I make a suggestion with order of cases.
Sure.
We have this one fairly straightforward variance on North Main Street, and then the other case has both a variance and a special exception. You know, it's quite substantial. So I would suggest we hear the 129 North Main Street first.
Is that the one for the porch?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to do that. That's the easiest one.
Okay.
So is that a motion? Do we need a motion for that?
No. Okay, so we will do, this is an appeal for, let me go to this page, my agenda. It's an appeal for a farmer's porch on 129 North Main Street, tax map 127002, and it is a variance from section 17570A for the construction of farmer porch, the front and side of setback issue. Chuck, would you please read the site visit?
Yes, site visit tonight at 4 o'clock. Present was Jody, Suzanne, and myself. No one from the applicant was present. We viewed the site of the proposed farmer's porch. It was not clear how the porch would merge with the side entrance or with the walkway down to the driveway. We had trouble visualizing how that would be built. We did note that by sighting down the front of the house, we could see that the neighbor's house up the hill from there has a front porch that extends about 6 feet closer to the road. So it would indicate that there is some precedent for having a porch within the setback required by ordinance. That was the only observation that we made. Respectfully submitted, Chuck Sumner.
Can I say that I had viewed the property on my own?
Oh, okay.
So it's in the notes.
So noted.
Oh, you said? You said?
Done.
Okay. Okay, and typically we ask the applicant to come up and present their application. I don't know who that is. Okay. Do you have a copy of this? Shauna, can you lend him your copy?
Yeah. This is the file copy. You're welcome to come and take it. I need it back afterward. It's my only copy.
So what we'd like you to do, if you would please, go to page,
And you have to go back to the podium because we do
Page.
need the microphone.
see attached. How come I don't have, I could see attached, I don't have page attached. Okay. If you go through your application, you'll see that the pages aren't numbered. I'm going to show them what to do.
Page 5. Let's turn on his microphone, too.
You going to help him? So, these are the things that you need to read 1 through 6. Your application is submitted.
We failed. Is that what you're saying? Variance from section 17570A1 and 2
Give me a minute, I can find
for
it.
the front porch setback minimum of 20 feet and and the side setback
He's going to put the microphone up to his mouth.
from
And state your name for the record, please.
Vincent Politano.
Thank you.
The setback minimum of 10 feet. The front line of the intrusion for the deck will range from 12.91 feet from the front setback on the front left corner down to 11.89 from the front setback on the front right corner, with this corner making the further line of intrusion on the front porch left corner. The deck will also intrude to within 9.14 feet from the side setback at its furthest point, representing an intrusion of approximately 0.86 inches. Feet. Is that feet?
You can take turns if you want. If you'd like to read some, you're welcome.
Granting of these variances will not be contrary to the public interest because many of the properties in the immediate area have similar porches or covered landings extending this setback area, and covered porches will provide comfortable seating for owners to enjoy sitting on their front porch, which is aligned to the spirit and feel of the area along Main Street. While extending into the setback area, it will still have approximately 12 feet distance to the front property line, which is even further set back from the road by the walking path, providing ample distance from Main Street even after the addition.
The spirit of the ordinance is observed.
Microphone?
And your name, sir, please.
My name is Philip Politano, the
Thank
brother
you.
of the petitioner,
Baby.
baby brother. The spirit of the ordinance is observed because the spirit of the Wolfeboro zoning ordinance, particularly in the village residential district, is to provide for higher density residential dwellings in a range of dwelling units from single-family to multifamily within the built-up area. Part of the charm and benefit of the Main Street area is the enjoyment of the sense of community for those living here as well as those walking up and down the sidewalks along Main Street, and having a front sitting area further enhances this community feel in the higher density area. Additionally, the addition of the covered patio will not make this property feel like it is crowding too close to Main Street, and is in alignment with many of the other buildings along Main Street that have similar front landings or porches encroaching into this front setback area.
Substantial justice is done because granting the variance will achieve substantial justice by allowing the owners of the property the ability to make such needed changes that will greatly increase the home's accessibility as they continue to age, but also increase their ability to enjoy to sit outside on the front porch and the beauty of Wolfeboro, New Hampshire as part of Main Street neighborhood. The value of the surrounding properties will not be diminished because the property variance will not diminish the value of surrounding properties. It will enhance the value of the subject property without any detrimental negative effect to the surrounding properties, and to increase the value to any property absent it being done to the detriment of others. Always tend to increase the value of similar properties in the area. The covered porch will be made in high-quality manner. With a roof perfectly matching the current structure so that it will not visually look like an add-on, but rather a natural extension of the home.
Little enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship because the special conditions of this property that distinguish it from other properties in the area render it such that A, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the purposes of the ordinance applicable to the application and the specific application of that provision to the property and proposed use is a reasonable one. Literal enforcement of Section 175-70 would result in unnecessary hardship due to the unique conditions of the subject property. The property is built on a steep slope with the parking of the property off the side and below, and as applicant wife has gotten older, it has become increasingly difficult for her to access the home as well as enjoy the outdoor spaces. Modifying access via the back of the property would not be practical or possible without substantial renovations to the overall home. The purpose of setback requirements is to ultimately prevent properties from being crowded too tightly into lots without sufficient room between them, and to ensure that buildings don't begin to encroach right up to right or ways in abutting neighbors' properties. In this case, the construction of a deck encroaching approximately 8 feet into the 20-foot setback will not render this property looking or feeling like it is improperly encroaching upon those boundaries, as it will still provide ample space between the furthest line of intrusion and the property line, with even more space between the property line and the street. This is a reasonable use as it allows the owners to enjoy the benefit of living along Main Street, providing a lovely covered porch area for them to sit and interact with the neighbors and those enjoying Main Street. The New Hampshire Supreme Court has made it clear that any hardship suffered by the applicant as a result of the interference with its right to use its property without commensurate public advantage is an unnecessary hardship. C.E.G. Boccia via City of Portsmouth, 151, New Hampshire, 92-93, 2004.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now I go, are there any people in the public that would like to speak either for or against the application for the farmer's porch on Main Street? I see none. So I would then ask the board members, do you have any questions of the applicant?
Did we want to ask about the,
Speak into the microphone.
did we want to ask about that penciled in spot yet, or is that going to be?
Yes. Yeah, I'll ask.
It's up to you.
On the plot plan that you submitted showed the farmer's porch running the full length of the house. And then it looks like you have another little area penciled in beyond that. And I guess that's to connect to the side entry?
Yes.
How, okay, so I think I can visualize that, but how does all of that improve access for your wife? Is there going to be a ramp there, or?
There is a porch there already,
On the side, yes.
Yeah.
and what we'd like to do is bring that straight up to the front porch.
Just connect it straight across to the front porch.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. So there'd be no going up and down
Right.
stairs.
So for getting from the driveway up to that level, is there going to be a ramp, or how is that making it easier access to the house?
The driveway, we have a new driveway there, and it's not as much of a steep,
I'm so-
it's a slow grade up,
Can
so
you s-
it's a walk.
I didn't get all of that. Can you speak into the microphone, please?
Sure, I'm sorry. The, after parking in the driveway, there's a walkway going up that is not as steep as a grade. It's a nice walk going up.
So you're going to redo that walkway? We were there tonight, and
already-
we saw a shoveled path that went up to the front door, I guess. Is that the same path that we're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the driveway itself will be the walkway up to the front door.
So you're redoing the driveway?
No, the driveway had just been done. It's not as steep, the driveway is not as steep as going up the grassy knoll or the steps that are there
Okay,
now.
all right, okay.
They're very dangerous to walk up. It's
Right.
just flat field stones, and she already fell once.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let your younger brother explain it.
So in my experience, the bottom of the driveway, there is a parking area, a garage.
Yes.
And from there, there's a tree, there are field stones placed to step up and walk up. As we were younger, that's not such a problem. But as we become older and more challenged physically, it's become difficult to manage or navigate those field stones and those steps up to the back porch. The entrance would then become obviously the front porch. That's where Terry will be spending her time, up around that porch and enter into the house through the street. We would probably park, correct me if I'm wrong, up at the head of the driveway, where
Right.
she would exit and be able to walk on a level walkway to the porch and into the house.
I think I understand. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
yep. Thank you.
So, yeah, thanks. My comments are for the board, so.
This comment is to Shauna. I've seen it somewhere, and I don't know if it's in the statute or if it's in our regulation, but I know that there is, for people that are handicapped, there is a provision whereby
Correct.
they really have some latitude in our requirement, but I don't have that in front of me.
I've got it, don't you worry. So 67433, Roman numeral 5, notwithstanding the subparagraph about hardship, any zoning board of adjustment may grant a variance from the terms of the zoning ordinance without finding a hardship arising from the condition of the premise subject to the ordinance when reasonable accommodations are necessary to allow a person with recognized physical disabilities to reside in or regularly use the premise, provided that the variance is granted shall be in harmony with the general purposes of the zoning ordinance, and in granting any variance, the zoning board may provide in a finding included with the variance that the variance shall survive only as long as the particular person has continuing need to use the premise.
Okay, so I don't think we want that because the variance only survives as long as the person is the one using it. I was thinking it might make it a little easier, but I think that there's not a big issue with this and we should just go through the 5 criteria.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that, you know, whether they're walking up a new walkway from the street area instead of the old pathway, going into the side entrance or going into front farmer's porch is both the same level of accessibility. One's not different than the other as far as that goes. So I think we should go to the 5 criteria.
Okay. You think we should?
To the 5 criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, being there's no further questions, I assume from the board or the public, I will close the public hearing so we may deliberate on the 5 criteria. And I would note also that they said in their application, you could sit down now if you'd like, yeah. On their application, they said also that it's for the resident to be able to go in and out and sit out on the front porch and enjoy the daylight, so. Okay, so number 1, the variance is not, we'll do number 1 and 2 together. The variance is not contrary to the public interest. The spirit of the ordinance is observed. And I made a mistake, and I didn't read the spirit of the ordinance. And I like to get that into the record, which is, what did we say that was, 17570? Hang on a second.
Do you want me to read it, Suzanne?
175, I got it. Purpose intent, 175. Village Residential District. This is that, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, yeah. The Village Residential District is to provide for higher density residential dwellings in a range of dwellings units from single-family to multifamily within the build-up area and with organized community services such as fire and police protection and community water and sewer. The location of these units, and this is relevant to, not particularly to them, but what it is to keep a neighborhood feel in that area. So 1 and 5, the proposed use must not conflict with the explicit or implicit purpose of the ordinance and must not alter the character of the neighborhood and be injurious to health, safety, or welfare. It must be in the public interest and uphold the spirit of the ordinance. That's why I read the spirit of the ordinance. Does anyone have any issues with them not meeting that?
I think it does meet that. I think it doesn't change the spirit of the neighborhood at all. I would be more concerned if it was on a corner, a street corner, because then it might be causing some traffic visibility issues, but that's not the case. So I don't think it changes the nature of the area or the neighborhood.
Okay, Chuck, you all set?
I agree with that. There's a lot of, up and down the street from there are porches on the front or side of those houses, so it fits in well with the neighborhood.
It's not, what is it? The 8 feet's not outrageous to what else, when you drive, when I left there, I just drove down and looked at everything else, took a look back over my shoulder, and just pictured it visually, and it's, I think it just fits.
Number 3, substantial justice is done. The benefit to the applicant should not be outweighed by the harm to the general public. And I don't see any harm to the general public. And in fact, as we were doing a site, this alludes to what you just said, Jody, we were doing the site visit, the house up the street from them protruded out towards the street. It looked like about the same distance as the new farmer's porch would hold, so there'd be a straight line, sight line. So
I
it
agree.
doesn't
There's no harm.
interfere with the public. Number 4, the value of surrounding properties are not diminished, and we have no technical information one way or the other. However, this would enhance the front view of the residence. Number 5, little enforcement of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. Unnecessary hardship can be shown either way. I don't know what they put down. Oh, they're not really encroaching that much. It's 8 feet into the 20-foot setback. It will not make it look architecturally or dimensionally inappropriate. It's a reasonable use as it allows the owner to enjoy the benefit of living along Main Street. They have mentioned that they're getting up in years and it would be easier for them to access the house and enjoy sitting outside. So it would be in their best interest to have the access in the front. Anybody want to add anything?
Well, not that I'm against this, but I'm not clear what the hardship actually is.
Well, I notice here that if you talk about a special condition, the way the property driveway is and the proposed use, that if they had to go all the way down to the end, it's a steep drive, and come in the side door, that would be difficult. They're going to make this more accessible. And so I think the proposed use is a reasonable one. The use doesn't alter the essential character of the neighborhood. In fact, it is in keeping with other properties on Main Street that have porches in the front. So I feel that they have met number 5. So I make a motion to approve the application for a variance for 129 North Main Street, tax map 217-002 for a variance from section 17570 for construction of a farmer's porch. And I want to include the date of the plan, which was received December 30th, 2025, which is attached to our application. I would like to use that plan as a guide to what it is they propose to do, because it has drawing of the setbacks and so forth, and also the conditions. I would add the 6 conditions, which are boilerplate. All federal and state permits shall be received prior to construction, including but not limited to the Town of Wolfeboro Building Code. 2, the approval is per all documents submitted. Date, I just said December, whatever I said, December 2025. The application as submitted to the ZBA does not satisfy the submittal requirements for a building permit or a site plan approval. The notice of decision shall be recorded at Carroll County Registry of Deeds, and the applicant shall be responsible for payment of all recording fees. This variance shall be valid if exercised within 2 years from the date of approval, or as further extended by local ordinance or by the Zoning Board of Adjustments for good cause, in accordance with 674-33 Roman 1AA. Appeal process pursuant to RSA 6772, an aggrieved party may appeal this decision to the County Superior Court within 30 days of the date of the board voted approval or disapproval. 7, if there is a significant change to the site plan proposal, the applicant shall return to the zoning board. So roll call vote.
Wait, comment first. You said this is in accordance with the plan that was submitted, but note that the plan has been marked up to include a walkway to the side porch, the side entryway also.
Yeah, but that's outside of the setback.
It is.
It's outside of the setback,
No,
so
it's
we don't
not.
have jurisdiction over that.
The way it's drawn, it goes into the setback.
Yeah, the part along the front, but that's on the drawing, so, yeah. Okay.
So it's not strictly just a farmer's porch on the front. There is.
It
a little-
actually wraps around. Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
There's a,
Okay, so all those in favor of the motion as read? Audrey?
Yes.
Yes to approve.
Jody?
Yes to approve.
Ryan, yes to approve.
Chuck, yes to approve.
And Sabette?
Yes.
It's a bet.
And I'm sorry, I missed who seconded that motion.
Chuck?
I did.
Sabette did. Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you, Sabette.
Okay, so then we have the last item for tonight. Is for First Colony Development, 69 South Main Street, and it is for two applications. One is for a variance and one is for a special exception, and it will be to remove the existing home and rebuild further down towards the water, and converting an accessory structure boathouse into a primary dwelling. Clerk, will you please read the site visit?
Yes.
And we'll start with the variance first.
I actually have two site visits because last month we visited the site on January 5th. Audrey, Kate, and I were present then. For the applicant, there was Brian Walsh, surveyor, and John DiPasquale?
Deli Priscoli.
DiPascoli.
Deli
App-
Priscoli.
Say,
Deli Priscoli.
Deli Prisconi.
Priscoli, but that's okay.
Priscoli.
Some people say Deli Priscoli, too.
Got it. On January 5th, we reviewed the proposal from a snow-covered driveway, so we couldn't go down very far, but we could visualize where the house will be built, primarily on the boathouse footprint, and there'll be a garage to the side of that, on the other side of the existing driveway. The computer-generated images provided on site were very helpful in that respect. Respectfully submitted, Chuck Sumner, ZBA clerk. We went back again this evening. Nobody from the applicant was there. Not important, I don't think, because it was a second follow-up visit. Jody and Suzanne were there this time. I don't think they were there last time, so it gave them an opportunity to see the property. We looked at the site of the proposed construction. As no one was present for the applicant, there was no further discussion. I think the
Do you want to wait?
the building was still, the proposal was still fairly clear to all of us as we stood there tonight. So I will close with that. Respectfully submitted, Chuck Sumner, ZBA clerk.
Okay. And I'd like to read the purpose into the record. You're coming in under 175-64. A. 64, oh yeah, okay. So the purpose of this district is to maintain the integrity of the existing shorefront residential district and protect the shorefront from overdevelopment. Further, the town recognized the importance of implementing water quality protection standards in order to protect the shoreline, the most valuable resources. Okay, that's in a nutshell.
Well, thank you. I didn't know, Madam Chair, if we wanted to, because I'm prepared to make the presentation addressing both of the requests. I don't know if just in the essence of time, there, because one is dependent on the other. So it's, I don't know if that's okay, or do you, I don't want to confuse the issue, but I thought, is that correct, Phil? Yeah.
Well, the criteria are different, but if you want to describe the property, the description of the property is the same for both.
Right.
Yeah, if you could
Okay.
maybe put that over to this side so
Sure.
the public can see it.
I've
that we've
passed out in my whole presentation, I've given brochures out so they could follow along.
And so they can follow. And
Yes, everything I'm presenting tonight, I've given to anybody in the audience.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't
I
know.
made 11 by
Okay.
17s in
So
order
does the
to,
TV camera get it?
Well, so, Madam Chair, the applicant wants to hand out copies, I believe, of what is...
I think they've all got
Okay,
it.
to us.
Oh, to us.
yes,
we
just so
don't have
you'll
that.
have it, so you can read it closely because it's small print up here.
Thank you.
Oh, what's that?
That's the proposal.
Okay.
That's the view from
Okay,
the street.
Okay?
yeah.
Okay. So,
Did you hand this in with your packet, when, your application? So this is new to us tonight.
This Horizons plan, is this the same one that was submitted with the application?
yes.
Okay.
I didn't get it in my
As far as
packet.
technical plan, I've given you the elevations and you know, the presentation drawings.
Is this what you're talking about, Suzanne?
So the one in our packet just has blank footprints like this, so it's not colored. Well, it's beige. The one tonight calls out different colors for what the different portions are.
They match?
All the
I don't know if
plans,
they match, but I think they do.
And the reason that we ask is that we've had an application in the past with 2 surveyed plans submitted that we weren't quite sure which plan to make the decision on. So are you asking tonight to make the decision on this Horizons engineering plan and not the plan that was submitted with the application?
Let me just say, the one submitted with the application is not a survey, it's an architectural site plan. So we would have to go with the survey drawing. The architectural site plan is, you know, showing some other things like grades and plantings and whatnot.
If I might chime in, Brian Walsh, Horizons Engineering, civil engineer on the site. We submitted in that packet a survey, a site plan, and the rendering you see there. So in addition to the plans you see, you should have a plan that looks like this, black and white, boring engineering plan. The little table talking about the impervious areas as well.
I'm sorry, you said this was submitted with the application?
Correct.
Yeah, we don't have that.
I'm not sure that it was. Let me check the special exception file in case it got put in one, not the other. Yeah. This looks like the plan that was submitted with the application, and it came with a number of photos that are marked up. That was what was submitted for plans.
The plans that were submitted were back, and they were two-sided in an effort to save paper. Same with everything in the application. So if what you've received were scans of that plan, then it's possible that only one side of those plans were distributed. However, in the application that we submitted,
I don't have any.
it was a full compiled set of plans back and front.
All as I have is the existing, photographs of the existing property. And
Okay, so my apologies. It looks like they were submitted as large-size plans, but maybe not 11 by 17s?
As well. Those, yep. You should have had full-sized and reduced copies. So I'm not sure if something was scanned at some point, but I specifically remember the 11 by 17s were double-sided, and they were done on the long edge, so you'd flip it over, and then it would be upside down. So I remember this.
Yeah, so my apologies. It looks like there's no 11 by 17s. As you know, we've had staffing and coverage issues in the office, but we do have these large size plans I can hand out to the board, if that's helpful.
Well, those are the same as this one that he just gave us, not, are they the stamped survey plan?
I'm gonna let him answer
those
that.
ones any different
Are
than
these
this right
black
here?
and white the same as the colored?
Well, we don't know that.
Slightly different.
We
So-
haven't seen it.
Let him
It's only different because it has added notation. It has additional dimensions and has a square footage of existing non-conforming area, just in anticipation of questions that could be asked.
Okay,
Otherwise, the design is locked in. It's been the same. No one's jumped in AutoCAD and changed anything to do with the footprint.
So in order to approve the plan that came with the application, we would need to have the area calculations on this. Or on a separate sheet, but
So is this, are we saying this is an oversight on our understaffing, or where are we going with
I
this?
don't know.
So here's one.
This plan has you were just turning the
I don't know where
page.
we're going with
Right
this,
there.
that's all. I mean, we have all the information now, I mean,
no, that's different.
Yeah, but see, this is what we run into when we get material given to us the night of. And this is no small project.
Well, I'm not sure there's a conflict here. What we do have is just the same as this, except it has additional notes on it.
Correct.
So how, I mean, if
But-
we were to go all the way forward and approve the plan that came in the packet, it doesn't have the notations of the areas of coverage and whatnot on it. So how do we rectify that if we were to get that far? Shouldn't we have one this size that has that on it, or can we approve, I'm not even sure which ones of those is the same as this one.
We didn't even know those plans were in the office.
Right,
So nobody's looked at
the large size plans.
the proper drawings. None of us have looked at it. We've got this.
And staff, do we know if staff looked at the calculations?
I have not.
Didn't mean you, I didn't know if some other staff might have.
I think
it
what I'd
together.
like to do, I opened the hearing, so I think I did. Did I open the hearing?
I don't know.
I gave you a
Site visit. I didn't formally open the hearing, but I will, to be safe, so that the record shows I'm open to public hearing for a variance on 69 South Main Street. But what I'd like to do is have the applicant explain to us what's going on here, and then I'd like to continue this, because this is not a small project. This is a big project on Main Street. It's going to have quite an impact, and I would like to study it better myself after you explain everything. So would that work for you?
I have no problem with the continuance, I just don't know what the dates would be. The next date.
Yeah,
March 2nd.
Okay, well, I'll be here.
yeah. Okay.
That's fine,
That'd be
Madam Chair.
helpful.
Sure, I'm
Okay.
excited to show you the project, and
Yeah.
the impacts are large in a very positive way. So I'm happy to start if you'd like me
So
to.
if you could take us through
I'd love to.
the show and tell?
Sure. So, if I could proceed, is that okay? Start? Okay. So first of all, I'm John Deli Priscoli, for the record. I'm the owner of, my wife and I own 69 South Main Street, and have for several years. That particular house, as you may know, has a long history here, but it's in very, very poor condition. It's been used as a rental house for multiple weekly rentals and so on. This is prior to my ownership. And the house is beyond repair, in our opinion. My background is historic renovation in Greater Boston, and this is a house in a development that we're doing here. This redevelopment of this lot is for my family. This is not for a third party. This is for myself, my wife, and my 6 children. And it goes all the way from 2 22-month-old twins right up to 26-year-old veterans. So it's a whole stretch of 6 children. So with that, tonight, as you can see, this first, I'm going to walk you through six plans. And as a courtesy to help you follow along, I've provided an 11 by 17 format in each one of your packets as additional for helping along. I do apologize that the collation that you'll have will not match my presentation, although all the plans are the same. So they were stapled incorrectly, but you can just flip through as I'm going along, and they're all right there. There's no changes. It's just how they're collated. So this, for those of you, we all know that 69 South Main Street is literally across the street from where we're sitting tonight. And this plan, as you'll see here, and the reason for the requests that are in front of you tonight is because the variance requires us for the structure, because the structure is currently a garage, we're eliminating the other structure and combining the new work with the existing structure. So that does require a variance. And just before I get too far ahead of myself, with me tonight, as you know, is Phil Marbury, the attorney, and also Brian Walsh, the civil engineer. So, and they will both be, Brian will be presenting the technical side of the plan. I'm going to give you the color side in the actual passion piece to show you what I have in mind here. So with that, as you can see here, the existing home is right here, and this is the lot on both sides, and the yellow reflects the new additions that are toward Main Street, and then the orange is the existing footprint. That the intention here is to reuse the exact footprint, including the foundation. There's no vertical expansion, there's no excavation. We're using that foundation. That foundation is a very, very, very well-built foundation, and I have 50 years experience in construction, and I can tell you that is built right. And we're going to recycle the existing footprint and the existing foundation and the existing structural slab that is there. So there's no impact near the water. And as you can see, there is an existing slight encroachment here into the shoreline area. And because of that, that's why the special exception to go vertical. But as I said, we'll get deeper into it through however you see appropriate. Now, the next plan that I'd like to share with you is this plan. This is the dimensional plan prepared by Horizons. As you can see, when you look at the existing home and you look at this cross-hatched area that's on this plan, if those of you could turn to that, or you can see it here, however, whatever works best for you folks. That particular building has a lot of non-conformance with it, existing non-conformance. That will all be removed. All the new construction is all within the conformance and the setbacks and correct. So we're correcting deficiencies in this, as you can see, and they're substantial. I'll let Brian get a little deeper into some of the engineering fine points, but to give you the overall picture, all the new yellow, the pale yellow here, all meet the current setbacks and so on. And once again, this white square is the existing building that's been there since the 80s, early 80s. And for those of you, I'm sure you all know, that is the former, the mini mount used to be in there, gentleman that had that. And also, for the record, the water is not inside this building. This is a dry garage slash boathouse. There was never water underneath this building. The water stops on this man-made canal that was built at the same time this building was built to facilitate this mini mount going in on a marine railway type situation way back. That's what it was. Today, it's simply a storage garage. So that's the existing situation. I want to really specify how much we're correcting a lot of existing deficiencies that currently violate, the setbacks. With that, I'd like to move on to the next plan, if I may. This plan here. Fortunately, I have to wear my glasses. Once again, this reflects, all these plans are essentially identical. I did section them out to show you the blocks of the new pieces and so on. This plan reflects with the house removed, and this lists here. So along with this prior plan of correcting the deficiencies and the encroachments deficiencies, as you can see here, this plan also lists some of the benefits, and I think some of them are very monumental. So the existing 2 structures on the site are now reduced to 1 structure. There's no change to the existing building footprint within the shoreline setback, and I mentioned that a moment ago. The impervious surface on this entire lot is being reduced by 8.4%. I'm sure you're used to most people coming in looking to make more coverage. We're reducing the coverage. We're going in the green area and landscaping. So 8.4, almost 10% more green space than currently exists with the plan that's in front of you tonight. This site here that I'm proposing has more green space than all of the abutting commercial properties, including this building that we're standing in here tonight, the bank, the accountant, the former dorm from the school that's over there, and the bank building. So we're proposing much more green space and landscaping than what we're surrounded with. And I did that for many reasons. One is a very nice, soften the eye as you walk down Main Street and as you approach Kate Park, which is a large spot of open space. It kind of combines with that. The front yard setback, meaning here from Main Street to the main building, has been increased by 375%, from 40 feet to 150 feet. And the new 6,500 square foot garden park is along South Main Street. And the house, as I'm going to show you in a moment, is a replica of Second Empire design, Victorian, very similar to the roots here. And I'm going to go back to that, and I can build a verbatim replica of an 1870s, 1860s house. Just really quickly, as I mentioned to you, I do consider myself an expert on historic renovations, and I just finished a major development of 5 buildings on one site of a Second Empire French in Southborough, Mass. It was the founder of St. Mark's School. It was his home, and included the First Episcopal Church. I did the chapel and the whole thing, and that's a home that we own there for my family. I also did the William Savory House in Carver, Mass., and I'm also the longest-serving trustee of the Wayside Inn, which is in Sudbury, a very historic place, since 1716, and I'm very passionate about old buildings and vintage and making things correct, period correct. It's a passion of mine and my wife, the 2 of us. So with that, and before I get into the actual elevations, I just want to make sure that the board is really, in the public here, are really familiar with the physical location. Here we have the commercial zone is my property line. So the whole downtown commercial, which includes the accountant building here, and then Kate Park and all the existing downtown buildings, that's my southerly property line. My other property line over here is which was a dorm. It was just recently sold, but that was a dorm for the school. That's multi-family. Then there's the 3-family home there. Then there's 2 single-family homes here. One is being rebuilt, and a quite large one here. And then our friends Bob and Lil here. Across the street, of course, is all commercial zoned as well. So I just want to make sure we have a clear understanding of the locus and what's actually currently existing out there. So what we're proposing for a streetscape is this. Remember, it's a 375% increase of frontage and setback, and all the green and trees and flowers and roses and so on would be along the street here. So a beautiful, beautiful green space for the public to enjoy as you walk by, as you approach Kate Park, and to give some green and some trees and some flowers and so on a street that really, is, a lot of the commercial activity, everything's paved. This would give us a real chance to enhance the streetscape. And the house itself, as I mentioned to you, is a period reconstruction, which is here. This is the new addition, and this little front portion is new. And if you're looking back here, you'll see where it steps out. That's the existing structure that's there now, except with a new structure on top of it. So the footprint is there. So when you look at this print here, to help you visualize, this back portion of the house that you see here, this single-family home, is actually this orange piece. And then when you look back here again, this front piece and this extension for the garage is the yellow piece, just to make sure the board really understands. And this whole front piece becomes this beautiful streetscape and landscaped area, and with almost 10% more green space. So I've tried to really do everything possible here. I'm trying to correct the deficiencies that are currently existing. I'm increasing the green space. I'm reducing the impervious. I'm creating, as I said, a streetscape, and I'm bringing back a period look of the historic aspect of Wolfeboro, which has a lot of historical Victorians, especially in the downtown area. And I thought that really is a way to really blend with the existing and enhance. So that's the sum and substance of it. I want to make sure the board knows that my attention to detail will be extensive, and as far as the reconstruction. And we're taking away a building there. The front building has been, like I said, it's been serial remodeled to the point where there's nothing left to do with it. And the back building was the actual building itself, even though he built a beautiful foundation, he really lacked on the eye appeal and the structure of that building when he built it. And it's extremely tired today. So all that will go away, and we'll end up with the green space in the home. And with that, I'd like Brian to go over the technical conformance with all the measurements and so forth. We're really clear on that if we could. So Brian, you want to use it?
Hey, Shauna,
Yes.
could you ask the cameraman if he can zoom in on the
Plans?
whatever yeah, on the picture? I might be seeing it the same way the public is, and it's very hard to see the finished product picture. I'm just wondering if he can zoom in on it.
So the ask has been made. I'm not sure that we're able to do that over GoToMeeting, Sabette. It will,
Oh, I'm not seeing it the same way the public is?
correct.
Oh, I'll go back and look at the public
Yep.
version then.
The
Okay.
video that you see here is just me and my computer.
No problem. I'll go back and look at it later.
Hello again, Brian Walsh, Horizons Engineering. We are the civil engineers, land surveyors, and wetland scientists on the project. We have a lot of plans up here, so I'm just going to point to this plan because that's the civil one. If I need any microphone tuning, please let me know. To start, the parcel is 0.75 acre. in the Shorefront Residential District. A full survey was conducted in early 2025 to verify that no wetlands are present on the site. The parcel lies entirely outside of the FEMA flood hazard zones, and the existing structures are legally non-conforming with respect to the shoreline setback and side setback. It's important to remember that all construction at the boathouse remains atop the existing foundation. There's no additional full-depth excavation around that structure, except outside of the 50-foot buffer. As John so eloquently stated, the existing primary dwelling will be removed and with it replaced with an ornamental garden, a beautiful, truly remarkable garden, and I think a pretty amazing opportunity to have along the main street. This is something I'd personally love to see in Melvin Village, where I'm at. I think it's a value add all around. With the site improvements comes landscaping enhancements as we walk through, included native plantings, evergreen screening, and improved drainage. If there's any questions on drainage in particular, I can expand upon that. The drainage travels in the existing path, and we have proposed a basin on the site, which that coupled with the reduction in impervious area provides a enhancement and improvement to water quality before reaching the lake. It's also important to note that the impervious area within the 50-foot buffer will decrease by over 15%. So I'm talking just the area within the 50-foot buffer. That has a more substantial decrease in impervious area than the site as a whole. That area goes from 3,107 square feet to 2,660 square feet, which is a difference of 15%. Also, as John touched upon, there's a plan that's been passed around showing the area of pre-existing non-conforming that's being removed. 470 square feet of pre-existing non-conforming for the existing house near the main road. That gets removed. The building today stands 7.22 feet away from the property line. So that, with the existing grade that's there, makes it very difficult to do maintenance and basic home upkeep. We're proposing, obviously, to remove that structure. So the variance would be, as stated in the zoning denial letter, an existing accessory structure boathouse violates both the 50-foot shoreline and side setbacks. A change of use permit converting this into a single-family home would result in a dwelling unit that violates these setbacks. The dwelling unit is not permitted within 50 feet of the shoreline. Therefore, a variance is needed, as this would be less conforming than existing conditions. And this is where I could get into the special exception, so I'll withhold. Okay. Variance request. This is where I'll run through the criteria in the application. The undersigned hereby requests a variance from Article 9, Section 175-64, and asks that said terms of the zoning ordinance be waived to permit renovation of an existing storage structure within the 50-foot shoreline setback into an existing dwelling with an attached garage. The undersigned alleged that the following circumstances exist to support this variance request. The variance will not be contrary to public interest because the proposed redevelopment will reduce impervious coverage and landscape surrounding areas, improving water quality through the reduction of stormwater runoff. The spirit of the ordinance is observed because the proposed use will reduce the development footprint, and renovation of the existing structure will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood, nor will it threaten public health, safety, welfare, or welfare of public rights. Substantial justice is done because the general public will not be harmed by the renovation of an existing structure. The applicant proposes to reduce their impact footprint. The landscape area proposed near the street will benefit the public. Number 4, the values of surrounding properties will not be diminished because surrounding property views of the lake near their property will not be affected. The quality and style of the development would enhance values for that shorefront area. Number 5, the literal enhancement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship because the special conditions of this property that distinguish it from other properties in the area are as follows. The existing non-conforming structure is within the 50-foot shoreline setback. The dug-in basin was excavated to allow a crane to lift a boat from the lake to the dry store in the winter. The basin extents are what creates the deep setback that you see. In the criteria, it says to use A or B. We've elected to use A. So A, owing to the special conditions of the property set forth above, that distinguishes it from other properties in the area, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the purposes of the ordinance applicable to the application and the specific application of that provision to the property because allowing the existing structure to be renovated will cause no water quality impacts. Reuse allows for impervious cover to be reduced. The proposed use is a reasonable one because the existing structure is situated about as far from the original shoreline, excluding the dug-in basin, as adjacent residences to the southeast. And that concludes the run-through of the variance criteria. So if you'd like, I could shift gears into the special exception criteria.
Just do the variance now.
Good.
Do you want to use your microphone? Sorry.
I'd like to take public comment on this before we do questions. So are there any questions from the public, either for or against, or general questions? And this is for the variance portion of the application. There's another application for a special exception.
I had questions, just being an observer here. I'd like to see a current elevation from a view from the water. As you know, that shorefront is quite special, and now it's got one sort of big thing that happened there. And so that's changed the whole shorescape. Oh, but my name's Ann Blodgett. It's changed the whole look of our town, that one house. So I think everybody's pretty sensitive to that. The height, is there a height restriction in that area?
There is.
Yes.
And is this within?
We don't know yet.
And I think lots of us remember what happened with 71 North Main, and it really, we all have PTSD from 71 North Main and what happened there. So I think we want to be cautious that our gateways that are in the master plan and so forth are adhered to respectfully and with coherence. Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. Can you spell your last name for the record?
You're lucky you don't know my name.
She's from out of town.
Blodget.
Great, thank you.
1 T.
No, I know. Just a point of clarification on the last comment. So the house she's referring to is not our property. The large house that she's referring, just so we're clear, it's not.
Right.
Okay.
What was that? The large house is not what?
Their property.
The prior speaker mentioned
Yeah.
that there's a large house
Yeah.
that has changed the look of Wolfeboro. that has nothing to do with me.
Oh,
That's all I'm saying.
I see someone else like to ask a couple questions.
I'm Dave Bolduc, Chair of the Heritage Commission, but I'm speaking tonight as a private citizen.
could you move your mic up to your mouth, please?
The Heritage Commission has not reviewed this property, and I don't want it to be understood that I'm speaking for the Heritage Commission. I'm speaking as a town resident. It's the first time I hear of this project. I'm still trying to absorb all the implications of it, but I'm quite worried about this particular change being a forever change that will affect the landscape and the look of our gateway area to this town. The applicant mentioned that his addition would blend in with many of the other grand buildings in town. There aren't a lot of them. There's maybe 2 or 3. The others, if you come down Main Street, they're all typically small farmhouses, smaller in scale. They all sort of border the street, and there's a harmony as you drive down Main Street. There's a harmony that is produced by houses that are of similar size, of similar color, and of similar architecture. This one, to me, is going to look completely out of place. And I'm just worried about the character of the neighborhood being forever changed. And I'll reserve my comments to this point right now, but I'm very worried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I do have a letter that was submitted January 30th, to whom it may concern. We as close neighbors support the plan of the applicant to renovate the house and land at 69 South Main in Wolfeboro. We support his plan to create green space and expand the existing boathouse. We hope for town approval. Lillian Hoyk and Robert Bird, 73 South Main Street.
We did get that in our packet. Any other questions?
Maggie Steer. I have a question about the height and the volume of this new building. We're losing our views of the lake as we drive down Main Street. And I have a question for the applicant, which is, will the public view of the lake be blocked by this new building? And then I just wanted to point out that typically summer homes in Wolfeboro followed the rustic style, not the grand style, and I think this dramatically changes the character of this section of South Main Street. We've lost a lot of buildings already in this area, and while change is inevitable, I would like to see a little bit more of an effort made toward preserving the character of Main Street and the existing building that's there. I've been in that building fairly recently. I would not agree that it can't be saved. The applicant just said he loves historic preservation. He's just finished preserving a couple of properties, and yet he's proposing to build a very large new building that mimics a historic building, but is in no way a historic building, nor does it fit in with the culture of that portion of our community. So I really am concerned that it alters the essential character of the neighborhood, and that another tooth along Main Street is being knocked out of the face of Wolfeboro. And once those losses occur, unlike going to a good dentist, you don't get them back very readily. I also think that that grand formal garden and fountain is totally inappropriate for this area, especially for private property. It's different if it's a public park, but this is a private property with non-native introduced species that, again, don't really reflect the rustic character of summer homes around the lake. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions that they would like to have?
Yeah,
Discussion you'd like to have?
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of like to talk about the variance. We can maybe quickly go through the special exception
Yeah,
things, but that could happen after
I'm
also.
vacillating between how to go forward with this. While we have some people from the public here, I didn't know whether I'd like to open the special exception. We're not going to make it, I can't speak for the other members, but I'm not intending to make a decision tonight. I'm intending to have the whole presentation, and as I said in the beginning, I'd like to just continue this to March 2nd, because this is all a lot of information that we're getting tonight.
I would like to have a detailed conversation about the variance criteria.
Okay, and then we'll do the special exception.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the special exception criteria can just be the criteria, because we've had the discussion about what it is. So when we get to that part, we don't have to talk about the whole what it is.
I still have to open and continue that. It's
right.
It's two applications.
So I don't mind discussing this while the public hearing is still open for the variance. Is that what you want to do, so that we can talk back and forth?
I'm not going to close it. I'm going to
Okay.
keep it open and continue it.
All right.
So you're welcome.
Okay.
To proceed.
Thanks. I just want to point out that some of the non-formal drawings don't actually show the waterfront setback where the engineered drawing does. So will the board take a look at your survey? Staff, I believe, has made a determination that the reference line follows the dugout water area, and therefore that entire boathouse or storage structure, just about the entire thing, is actually in the setback. It's in the waterfront setback, whereas one of the original pictures only shows a very small corner of it being, that picture down there is not truly represented. So did everybody notice that on the drawings? Okay.
Can I ask a question on that? Now, the lake setback, do you go with the original setback line? Or I don't know how that works. I'm just asking.
It's on the horizons drawing. This is what it looks like right here.
But what I'm saying is, do you, when they built this in here years ago, so that's, the shoreline is now not just straight across, it's all the way into that.
Right.
The shoreline comes here, it goes all the way up into
Right.
the building. Is that what
And that's
legal?
the setback.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
I just wanted to know if that's a legal setback.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, so it's been built some years ago, many moons ago, when these rules before you today didn't exist, or they were different. The permitting plans, as they will go to the Shoreland Bureau, are the more restrictive ones, the ones you see with an offset that's within the site. Also, all the impervious areas that I've given you within the 50-foot buffer on the site as a whole, those all use the restrictive number, right? So the permitting plans and the numbers associated with that plan are locked in.
So Audrey, I guess what you're saying is we have two different setbacks?
No,
on
I'm
two
saying
different
this,
plans,
on the engineered drawing, I just wanted to point out that the setback
is arching.
is
with the-
arching. It's not on the original
yep.
one that we saw.
Okay, I understand you.
So that puts practically the entire boathouse structure is in the waterfront 50-foot setback, rather than a little corner of it that's shown there.
Yes, okay,
Okay.
I understand you.
And My question is kind of a question with an answer to myself. So this is a grandfathered, this boathouse?
This is grandfathered as the building it is. It's they could rebuild a boathouse or, you know, a storage building. They could rebuild that in the same footprint and the same volume.
Footprint, yeah.
And volume.
Technically, it's not a boathouse, though.
Well, it is. I mean, it's a boathouse, but it's a dry boathouse. So they lifted the boathouse up and rolled it into that building back in the day.
Yeah, so it functioned, but I wouldn't call it a boathouse
Yeah,
because
it's
it's not
not a
over
boathouse.
water.
It's a dry dock.
Dry dock?
A dry dock boathouse, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it would be called the same
I
thing.
mean, it was meant for a boat, even though it's storage area for a boat, essentially. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that everybody on the board understood that.
Yeah, so,
I agree, or I have the same feeling as the residents that spoke, that
that's the point she was making.
the streetscape in this area is buildings up next to the road like a New England village. And we just passed on one, and part of what we agreed on was that clustered close to the street is what the main street of Wolfeboro in a New England village looks like. I think this diverges from that tremendously, and I don't think it's a positive thing. If you look at the map, it's this lot is the only one between the commercial and the village residential that both have much stricter front setbacks. The village residential here, you need to stay up near the street. That's what our ordinance says to promote that New England village feel. And on the other side,
Hold that. I want to follow up on what you just said. We have that ordinance that when we went through it with Hunters, when the building comes down, there was discussion about
Yeah.
bringing it more forward to the street because there isn't a regulation for that.
yes, that's
And
what
so
I'm
this
talking
one is-
about.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So this is.
So even though this very oddly, this green stripe is the shorefront residential, which has a different front setback than the village residential right next to it, or the commercial residential right on the other side of it. So regardless that this is actually in the shorefront residential, the streetscape, I think, should remain the same, even though this ordinance for village residential and this commercial isn't the same as the shorefront residential on the street side. But it does change the neighborhood if you don't follow that same progression up the street. My other comment is similar to, I think it's a wonderful idea to have, you know, a beautiful garden, but I think that competes with our public space, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. You know, the dock area is the jewel on the ring of downtown Wolfeboro, and now, you know, we're proposing something one house up that's a private garden, large, and I don't think that's beneficial for the downtown.
Okay.
I'd like to,
What's that? You got a question?
well, I sort of want to go on.
Because we're not deliberating now. We're just supposed to be asking questions.
I'm just sort of want to say something like she was, or do you want me to wait till we're deliberating on it?
Well, I think that this might we might need some back and forth with the applicant. That's why I wanted to discuss my
Yeah,
feelings
I mean, if
before
you're
we close the
More
meeting.
of a question for him to try to answer.
No, I'll wait till we deliberate over it.
You got any questions?
Yes, I do. First of all, the foundation for that boathouse, you said it's a solid foundation, but is it solid and firm enough to support a three-story building being built on top of it?
I can answer that. Yes, it is. It's that building was built with using Simon's forms, gang forms, and was built like a commercial industrial building. It is all rebar, it's a structural slab in there. I mean, you could build an office building, not that you would, but you could build an office building
Okay.
on that.
I guess the other question I have is, Ann mentioned the view from the lake, and this is the photo I've found in our package that shows the boathouse from the lake. Where would your house start? Would it start at the top of the? Well, you're going to remove the boathouse.
Well, no, the boathouse is the four walls and the trussed roof that's currently there
Would come down.
would be taken down, and new walls would be put up, along with additional story on the house there.
But the actual house would start then above the garage doors that are there now?
The house itself, above the garage, I mean, the height of the house? Is that what you're driving at? Well, the house would be above the garage doors.
Okay.
But that boathouse and the main house on Main Street completely obscure, today.
I agree with that.
So
There is.
This would be, so what you would have here is you would have a narrowing of the developed section of the lot, which, because right now the house is quite wide on the street, which is one of the reasons it's non-conforming. And this would narrow that up and set it back so that the development is condensed right by the boathouse, and the rest of it is open. I mean, just for the record, Mr. Clerk, as far as the landscaping, I'm happy to work with any local board or this advocacy group here about, adjusting the landscaping. These were my concepts. I'm even willing to address the design, perhaps, although, it's advertised when you walk into the town that it's based on the first resort, and in the pictures I've seen are women Victorian parasols and Victorian in the downtown. I would beg to say that there is a lot of Victorian influence there that's been changed over the years. But if you look at the period that I've seen when the trains used to be there and everything, it was that. If you look at the train station itself, it's extremely Victorian in nature, with lots of gingerbread and so on.
I agree. I don't particularly object to the style. In fact, there's a new house, either one or two houses south of you on the water, that's also a fairly, well, I'm not sure how you would describe the roof line, but
I
it's
think that's a Queen Anne,
Queen Anne. Okay.
which is really typical on,
That's a mansard roof? Okay. So it's, I'm going to say similar to this style. Maybe.
I just want the members to know, sir, that, I'm willing to work with the streetscape and so on. I personally, I live there, and I look across and I just see a sea of pavement. I don't see any trees. I don't see any grass. I don't see any native species. I don't see anything. I see asphalt. So I think, I think Audrey, if I may use your first name, I can't read.
Klein.
Okay, Ms. Klein. I would say that, when you look at it and so on, introducing and adding more enhancement in green space on Main Street, approaching Kate Park, which I happen to love, by the way. I'm there all the time. And my son loves the music and so on, my little one that was here the other night, the well-behaved one. I do think people would enjoy that. I mean, I can't imagine that more green space and less coverage is in any way a detriment to Main Street. I mean, I would think that the opposite would be true. And to reflect on why I have the moment here on some of the comments that came from the folks behind me, and I generally really appreciate the comments, but to say that, that it's not, an enhancement when you're sandwiched right up against, like you mentioned, right up against the commercial, and it's a very unique property. And I'm willing to treat it that way, and I'm willing to listen to constructive comment. I just think they mentioned that the existing house is not a bad house. Well, I'm in the business, I've been in it for 45, almost 47 years to be exact, and the house is not worth remodeling. It just isn't. There's nothing to save. The ceiling heights, the heating, everything is junk. in that house. It's been rented by people who don't care about it, and it's just been destroyed over time. That's what it is. That's not my idea of that level of property, especially where it's located. I really want to make it this redevelopment of that lot special. I want everybody to be on board. I want it to be a communal effort that we all can agree on. I know change is sometimes hard, but that existing building with vinyl siding on it, plastic windows, nothing historic in nature. There's nothing left of whatever was there built in the 1930s, which is when that house was built. The building in back is vinyl siding with a 512 pitch roof. It looks like it belongs in a trailer park. It doesn't, it's not something that you would put in that location today. It would just never happen. So just because it's there doesn't make it wonderful. I mean, I'd like to make it wonderful. That's my comment.
Well, he didn't read through the 5 criteria. I'd like to know what the special condition of the property is that creates a hardship for us to consider adding a large living space entirely within the waterfront setback.
Actually, they did go through the 5 criteria, but you're right, it is unclear which the answer to your question is unclear.
Right, I mean, that for me, that's a really high bar.
I'm happy to address that if you'd like.
We have the option of going through the 5 criteria. We don't have to make a decision. We have 90 days to make a decision. But I wanted to continue this without making a decision. And I don't know about going through the 5 criteria.
Well, he already reviewed them, right? Mr. Walsh reviewed the 5 criteria already. So I think if we had questions or where we wanted clarification, now is the time to bring those up so they can bring that in time for the next meeting.
I'm looking for more explanation of that.
Absolutely, I'm happy to address that. And I think it's helpful in the context to understand and make sure we understand the reason we need a variance. It's not for all of the things that have been discussed about how he wants to build a house, the green space he wants to add. The only reason we need a variance is because he's wanting to consolidate a non-conforming lot that has 2 separate large structures right now and simply make them one. And so if he were not to attach the new home he builds to the existing boathouse, he could build this house completely within the front area, but it would still be 2 structures, one that's still non-conforming and in a less ideal arrangement all around, even though he could do that without needing a variance. The end result is still worse for the lot and worse for the town. And so he's wanting to do the better option, but because that attaches the house to this boathouse, as it was previously, or storage, whatever we want to call that, because he wants to include that all as one thing together, not expanding the horizontal footprint at all for the non-conforming portion, and eliminating an entirely non-conforming structure on the side setback in the front. Because he wants to do that, that's a change of use for that part, that non-conforming boathouse, to now be part of the dwelling, part of the residential unit. That's the only reason a variance is needed in this scenario. That itself constitutes extremely special conditions of this property, with these 2 non-conforming structures and an attempt to make it more conforming to reduce the negative impact of those structures. But because it's all going to be attached as one structure, that requires a variance for that portion of the non-conforming shorefront building.
I'm not.
Why would that be?
I'm not buying into making it more non-conforming. Your application says from a single-story non-conforming structure to a 2-story non-conforming structure, which is making it less conforming, and we're supposed to go in the direction of trying to make things more conforming, not less.
I understand what you're talking about, Chair Ryan. Respectfully, that deals with the special exception with the vertical expansion. What I'm talking about for the variance purposes is that there is no...
Just for the record, I know who you are, but why don't you introduce yourself?
Absolutely, and I apologize for that, members of the board. My name is Attorney Philip Marbury, and I'm here on behalf of the applicant.
Going to the uniqueness factor, why would this be different than any other boathouse structure on a lakefront property where somebody wanted to attach their house to the back of their boathouse and then turn the boathouse into living space? I mean,
I would say the most significant difference is that as it stands currently, there are two non-conforming structures, and we're seeking to reduce that from two to one of them that's not being expanded or made more non-conforming, but it's just attaching it to what would otherwise be a completely conforming addition in the front of it. So yes, it's consolidating it from two non-conforming structures to one, but the non-conforming structure that remains at the end of that is the same footprint as the currently existing non-conforming boathouse. It's just improving its use.
both of these are legally non-conforming. They
Correct.
didn't require variances to be built, so.
Correct. Absolutely, but when we take a legally non-conforming structure and we reduce its negative impact, that's a good thing, right? Even though it was legally non-conforming and we didn't have to change it, anytime we come before this board and we seek to minimize the impact, when we reduce the impervious surface by almost 10%, by 15% on the shoreline setback, we are improving the overall impact to this lot. And I would just advocate, and I believe in what my client is seeking to do in eliminating another non-conforming structure in the front and the entire new construction being in a conforming within or within the setback. You know what I'm saying? It's not in the setbacks areas. That's an improvement to this lot, and the non-conforming portion is not changing, other than, as is noted in our second application, which was a special exception for a vertical expansion of that area.
And again, why would this be different than anybody else that has a boathouse that wants living space in it? I mean, there's the fact that this other building is slightly non-conforming. You're saying that, making that little piece conforming balances out allowing residential in this, legally non-conforming large building back here somehow is an improvement, and I'm having a hard time swallowing that.
Yeah, that would be our argument of why it is a special exception. It's a special condition of the property.
No variance. Yeah.
Correct.
I got a question. Is there any way you could go back and repeat, I think I heard you say, the owner could actually, instead of doing this over the boathouse, he could actually move this up and he wouldn't even have to see us, right, for anything. He could be right in with setbacks. He could take this whole thing that we're seeing right here and move it right up. I'm not saying do this, but I want it explained to me and maybe some other people for food for thought that this whole thing could be done, moved up, and the boathouse could be refurbished and still be there, I believe.
The problem with that, if we can't use the boathouse as additional space, is that it also minimizes the amount of room that can actually be improved. And so, again, the trade-off is that the current existing footprint of that non-conforming structure on the front end, if he needed to still use it, he would want to maximize his footprint there to make sure that what he's building is going to work for his family and what is needed. And he has a large family that would be utilizing this property. And so the benefit is removing it from the side setback entirely, eliminating that nonconformity of the lot, and then just simply expanding with special exception the use of the currently non-conforming shorefront part of this, but combining it into one aesthetic structure that is continuous, that makes sense for what it's going to be used for, and we believe that that's an improvement to the lot sufficient to warrant the variance that's been requested.
Yeah, I'm not saying for him to think about doing that, but I'm just trying to get it out there that my thought is almost to get a view of the lake right now, you're not getting any view of the lake when you drive by there. You can try, but you're really not gonna. My thought is you're gonna have more view of the lake if this was done the way you're presenting it. When you drive by, you're gonna look in. I really feel that you're gonna look in, everything's set back further. You're gonna get a better view of the lake. I just wanted to put that out there, that's all. I mean,
Well, I've got a question to you about that.
Yep.
As I recall, the driveway goes downhill.
Yeah.
So if we bring it back up, now you're sticking it up higher.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that.
But
I'm trying to let everybody know that this gentleman
Well, I
can,
think either way, you're going to lose a view of the lake.
well, we don't know
And-
that.
and
I'm just
I was
saying.
just trying to follow
I'm
what
just
you're
trying to,
saying.
well,
I see
what I'm trying to say
I
is,
see what you're saying.
I'm trying to tell people that this gentleman can build,
Right.
you know, I like.
Well, he could build
I-
anywhere.
I'm not-
He's got
I'm
a
not-
big lot.
Yes, but I'm not saying I'm voting right now for this
No,
variance, but I'm
no.
saying in theory, he could do it all up front and then, like these people and everybody, they're
Right.
really not gonna like it if they drive by and they see this house right there, and they can do that without coming in front of us for anything. So all
Oh, that's what
I'm
you're
doing
saying.
is just putting it out there. Again, I'm just wanna make the conversation. This is a big project.
I don't,
This is a unique, it really is a unique piece of property. I mean, it's on the bay. We see what's going on through the bay. Brewster's got everything locked in over there. I mean, you know, I'm not jumping to anything right now. I'm just trying to get the conversation of what I want to get out there, that's all. So,
Could I respond to that real quick? So, as you noted, the land does slope away, typical of any lakefront property, really. From the road to the boathouse is about 20 feet vertical. So if you were a little character standing in the road in front of this, you're either looking at a building that's right here in front of you and this tall, or it's however far away and 20 feet lower. You're correct, that building could be done apart from the existing structure that exists within the 50-foot setback today. That'd create more impervious area. If they were to achieve the same gross square foot area of building, which by right they can do, you'd be looking at additional impervious area. So they're taking a structure, which today really has no function, the boathouse structure, and turning it into a functional structure. That impervious surface exists today. It's by converting it to a residence, it's going to be, you know, heavily maintained. It's going to be a beautiful structure, and what makes it really unique, and the reason why you can't just do this with any boathouse is this is a unique boathouse. So this thing was built like a
brick,
commercial,
you know
like a
what?
brick S house,
Yeah.
and it's really unique in that way. So that's what we're looking at, and I just wanted to answer a few of the questions that were.
yeah, no,
discussed.
maybe people misunderstood me. I'm leaning towards this configuration you're bringing to us. I'm just trying to bring up the point that homeowners and people can do different things. I just want to get that point out there that I want to get the conversation. I'm not, you know what I'm trying to say?
And I think it's very...
I'm leaning towards this. I'm just trying to say, well, if you know,
No, I
the landowner
understand.
can do what he wants if he's within the setbacks and not even come and see us. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, I think the conversation and the back and forth is really helpful, both for me and for the folks here and the folks at home. I think people need to realize too that, yeah, could you build, like you said, could you build another house there? And then you can actually leave the non-conformance, you know, as long as you're not exceeding what's there now. So we're not, you know, nothing gets corrected, and you build, you know, a big house out, you know, or somewhere out. I just think the street's in desperate need of green space. You know, from my personal perspective, I like the setback, and I want to do something special there. I'm totally open to work with the folks behind me. I don't know the group, but I'd like to, and find a way that we can come up with some landscaping that everybody likes. That would be an enhancement, not to compete with Kate Park, but to complement Kate Park.
Well, I just want to make another point. It just seems like all I've heard in this town is green space, green space, green space, green space. Now we have a project that someone wants to bring green space to, and it seems like we're going 180. I don't know. I just want to, that's my 2 cents on it. It seems like all I've heard is we want more green space in Wolfeboro. Well, here we have an opportunity to have, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that's beautiful green space. And I just you know, again, I'm not saying yes to a variance right now. I'm just making a conversation.
But when you,
I
when
think
you, to add,
this-
go ahead.
There's a point, you just said that, you know, we have an opportunity here, and I think we do have an opportunity, and that certainly the applicant has shown extreme willingness to work with us if some of the nuances of the building or the garden are objectionable. He's very willing to work out a plan that would work for us in town here. I think it's important to recognize that. Because not everybody offers that. Some people just want to build what they want to build.
Absolutely.
Okay?
That's all I'm trying to, that's all I'm trying to get.
And in line with that, Mr. Chairman, I mean, Mr. Clerk, I want to say that, you know, I don't know how many, I haven't never sat in front of you before, and I've never witnessed the other applications, but I bet you it's rare when somebody's putting an additional 10% pervious in. Usually it's to go in the opposite direction. They're looking to find a way. I mean, if you look at that huge house that the folks mentioned here, that's next to, they basically gobbled the whole lot. There's nothing left. I mean, here I am, you know, increasing the green space. My immediate neighbor, Bob and Lil, who I love and who are fixtures in the town, love what I'm doing. As you could see by the letter, I've addressed that to make sure, because they were crushed by that other building over there, and I'm making sure that with this new redevelopment, that their property is enhanced. And I want to make sure I do that. And I do that not because I'm required to or whatever. It's the moral thing to do. And that's that's how my whole life is. So I just want to be aware of that.
I respect that a lot. Can I just...
I hear that we're not supposed to be deliberating, but I keep feeling like we're moving into that. And I would like to just do more information gathering and not, it feels to me like we're getting kind of off track and repeating ourselves.
Well, relative to that fact-finding, you mentioned imperviousness, and that reminded me of an earlier question I had. Speaking of questions, about somebody mentioned 15%, but on your drawing here, you mentioned 8.4% reduction. So is it an 8.4% reduction in impervious or 15%?
For purposes of the shoreland zoning, it's 8.2% delta. And you can see that here in the plans.
That's what I saw. Now, what do you, but for purposes of shoreland, so what does that mean exactly?
That's more just a FYI. So within the 50 feet, that's where you're getting the most bang for your buck of restoration of impervious surface to landscape. And we did that on purpose. So that's where you get your 15%. And if it would help the board, I can prepare a plan that shows clear, color-coded in that 50-foot. But it's something that's not required for shoreland. That's just more a talking point I wanted to bring up.
So if I were to look at just the whole property, then the way it would be rebuilt is still impervious material is being reduced.
8.2.
8.2%, 8.4% overall for the entire plot.
Correct. I'm showing 8.2. I'm wondering if the 8.4 is a Scribner error, but I got 8.2 on the DES plan. Yep.
Okay. It says 8.4 here, but...
On that plan.
That plan won't be used for permitting.
I'm sorry?
That plan won't be used for permitting.
All right, so it's 8.2%, but
Correct.
that applies to the entire lot.
That's the same plan that shows the setback a little funny, right?
Correct.
All right. And the 15% applies only to the 50-foot
Correct.
shoreline.
Where it's most valuable.
Got it. One more thing I'd like to see. Those are good, beautiful renderings. It helps us visualize what's going on. I kind of sketched in what it would look like from the waterfront. I think, you know, a drawing like a regular rendering like that, as viewed from the water, would be helpful to us.
Sure.
If you could.
I will have that for you.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you do, where that's located, I saw that, nice job.
That's what my
Yeah,
sketch
because
said.
you do see from your neighboring properties, you do see the way that, I think you'd see from the water even when you're on land, down like at
From
the park.
either side, you mean,
Yeah,
right?
the park or up
Yeah.
by the, looking
Yeah,
I mean,
they've-
I'm just saying, not just from boats will you see
No,
it.
from
I
either
think you'll
side on
see it when
land.
you walk down to the shorefront in the bay, that you'll see, because it sticks way up. I think as I sit here looking at the 5 criteria, I'm seeing some issues. So,
Well, that
and
was a question.
it's nothing that I can pinpoint and say, well, if you change that or move that or do that.
And we don't want to do that because...
No, I don't want to redesign his plan. That's
we
not our
can't-
job.
Right, and we can't say, well, you can't do this because you can do something else. That's,
No,
you know,
that's, yep.
Audrey,
stay away from that conversation.
So,
it-
Audrey,
you
are
have
you
to-
satisfied with what the special conditions are that exist here or not?
When you say I'm satisfied,
Or are you clear on what they are or are not?
no.
Okay.
Well, no,
Well,
Okay,
we're going to
'cause I'm not
continue
either.
this anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay.
I thought I understood you to say that you were clear on what the special conditions were, but...
I understand what he said.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking? Are you asking if I agree with what he said?
No,
Well,
you
that's
don't
not
want
what
to ask
Right,
her that.
don't ask
I'm
me
not.
that.
I'm
I
not.
understand what he said.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so, continue this hearing till March 2nd, 2026, here in the town hall. The variance, just the variance. And
And
we're going to go do this next.
do we...
So can we just
I'd like a
continue
vote-
that one?
I'd like a vote and a motion. I motion to continue
Yes.
until
I second the
what'd I
continuance on
say?
the variance to March 2nd.
March
variance.
2nd.
What?
With the provision that they provide an architectural rendering as viewed from
That
the water.
you asked for, yeah. Isn't that what you, yeah.
Yes.
As part of this decision, could we set a date for when that material could be submitted by? I know sometimes these dates come real quick for submittals for the next, yep.
Okay, do I get a second to that motion to continue?
I second it.
Roll call vote, Audrey?
Yes.
Yes.
Jody?
Yep.
Ryan, yes?
Yes.
Chuck, yes? Sabette?
Yes.
Okay, so now, let's quickly go through the special exception.
Can we just
Basically-
continue that without going through the
Well,
pieces?
I just want to make sure we have what we need in here. Look at the application, see what we need. Is there anything that's missing?
I think that'd be a good idea.
Well, you have to open it and continue it
Yeah.
in any case.
Yeah, I've got to open and continue, but I was just wondering, does anybody see anything like what we got a packet that's different from what we had seen before? Are we all set with what we've got for backup information for a special exception?
Well, I think for the special exception, that drawing that Chuck asked for is going to be helpful.
Do you guys want height information for the special exception? Because I don't know that that was submitted.
Well, as long as...
Yes.
If it's within the height
Yeah.
requirement of the town, do we even, I guess we do because it's about the height. All right, yeah.
So you're saying that's not in there?
I don't believe so.
Well, we know what he's got for public services.
Well, can't you open this and then have them read through, at least
The criteria?
No,
Get the ball rolling?
No, I just asked, does
Oh.
anybody see that anything in here, in the application, that they have concern about? And
No.
the one thing that I did see was, just quickly looking through it, lighting. When you come back, be able to tell us about the lighting.
what would lighting have to do with
Wait a minute.
the zoning?
Wait. You'll make
it's a
me lose
criteria.
my thought. The other thing is values, property values. It's the obligation of the applicant to provide us with something that's substantially credible about the value. You are increasing the value or decreasing the value if you could have some formal statement from somebody that substantiates that would be helpful for a project this size.
If I could just
A
add,
real estate agent or somebody tells us.
Well,
so if I can just add to that, so if there's no formal information submitted about the value of surrounding properties, which is one of the criteria, it's just word of mouth, and the board will hear you, but not necessarily take it into account in saying that you meet that criteria. So we would need
Well, what
some
I'm
formal
saying is
submittal.
what he's got here is an opinion. It's
Exactly,
the
yep.
applicant's opinion. I'm asking for something that
To
somebody
substantiate it.
that's in the
Yes.
profession that can substantiate one way or the other. So those were the only two things that I saw. So I'm going to open the public hearing for the special exception on, I'm going to open and continue it, on the special exception, where's my application? I don't want to use that.
could I just clear one thing up real quick? And that is, I know we keep saying it's a big project, but I just want the people at home to realize that it's a single-family house now with a boathouse, and it's a single-family house going forward. It's not multiple houses or multiple family, or I just want it really crystal clear that it's going from a single family to a single family. It's just so everybody knows, because I know I know it's a substantial change, but I do want people to realize that it's still a single family house. That's all it is.
Okay. So I'm opening the special exception hearing for 69 South Main Street, map 217084, for a special exception on section 175-43J. And the converting of an accessory structure boathouse into a primary dwelling with a garage that includes a vertical extension of the existing boathouse to a second story within 50 feet of the shoreline setback. And Chuck, we just mentioned that we did do the site visit in conjunction with the variance. Would you just, for the record?
Just for the record, what I reported for a site visit is applicable to the special exception as well.
Okay. And I would like to make a motion to continue this special exception hearing to March 2, 2026. Chuck, second. Audrey?
Yes.
Yes.
Ryan, yes.
Yes, with the contingency that they would provide. You asked for lighting details, and you asked for evaluation.
Verification of value,
And height.
And I asked for height.
Yep.
So those three criteria,
at least.
those three pieces of information, if you could
At
bring
least.
next month.
Okay, and Sabette?
Yes.
Okay, so.
and if we could
motion-
have the new materials submitted by Monday, the 23rd, that allows us to get them in the packets for the second.
Motion carries. We'll see you March 2nd. And just because we named out some things that on the first go-around doesn't mean that when we get more into it, there won't be other questions. Okay. Okay. So, other business. I have a piece of other business. I would like to make a motion that going forward, starting in March, we schedule on our calendar the second Monday of the month, every month until the end of 26. So we can then facilitate an applicant and not have to put them off a whole month. And if we get too many applications, I have asked Lindsay to politely and gently tell the applicant we may not get to it that night because we cannot be doing 6 a night. Does somebody want to second that motion? Which is
I'll second the motion for a second meeting to be scheduled the second Monday of each month for the rest of this calendar year.
Yeah.
Now, I don't agree that Lindsay should put them off. I think we should, well, should we schedule?
No, we're going to schedule it on the calendar
No,
for the year.
That's not my question. My question
what's your
is,
question?
you're going to schedule everything into the first meeting of the month, and if we need to, we'll use the second meeting of the month for overflow? Or do you want to?
No, well, you know what?
You want Lindsay to schedule it out so that we only
I
have?
set the agenda. The chairman sets the agenda.
All right.
And if I feel that there is a huge project that needs a continuation, I might say, come in the second Monday of the month.
That's fine with me.
And take care of the other ones.
So you're going to work out that detail with Lindsay?
So I just want to bring up that Mondays are not good for Kate. And,
Right.
you know, you're getting slim on people, so I think you should not schedule it for the entire year, but until,
No. Oh, go ahead.
but up and until there's the availability to come on Thursdays when there's a,
Well, we don't.
if there isn't, there isn't, but if it does
Then
become
someone-
available.
Audrey, someone can make a motion to change what we just did. I want to get this established because we're all over the place. It can
I'd
be
like you to listen to
amended and
opinions.
changed. I got a second, I think.
Suzanne, you got to use your mic.
What?
Your microphone.
I got a second. All those in favor?
Sabette, did you have a comment?
Well, my comment is, Suzanne, I would like you to listen to the opinion being expressed. Audrey is sharing historical data about what we run into every time we try to schedule another meeting. And for us to just randomly say, yes, we're going to come in every third Monday makes no sense when we have history showing that every time we try to do that, Kate can't come and we run up against roadblocks. I understand wanting to move things through more quickly, but I don't think the third Monday of every month is a workable solution for us. Historically, it has not been.
And let me add that I think, you know, this discussion should happen after March, when another
No,
board is set for the year.
I've been discussing this for months and months now, so I'd like the board to agree. It's nothing that's carved in stone that can't be changed if it's not workable.
Well, we have a new board that starts in March.
Let's
Because
kick the
whenever-
can down the road. No,
No, I don't want to kick the can down the road.
just joking.
Was there
No,
a
I just-
second? Was there a second?
joking.
Yes, there was a second.
I'm going to vote no. I don't want to do that.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
I-
You don't know how hard it is. You don't
I understand
see
that.
that part of
And
it.
I'm gonna have to, it's hard for me to get one meeting. I mean, I'm sorry with my new line of work, so I'm gonna have to say
Well,
no.
hopefully, we don't have to do two, but
Yeah, I know.
this is gonna lay it out for us.
And you're saying Mondays or it's?
Mondays.
I'll say yes.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Ryan, yes.
Weather vane.
I'll kill you, too.
I'm fine with it, yes.
Thank you. Sabette?
No.
Okay, motion passes 3-2.
And it's, we can always change
We can change it. All right,
board comes in.
yeah.
What's the point of having it if we're
Motion to
gonna-
adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes.
Okay, we're adjourned.